Alright, hello. Today we are comparing two of my favorite pedals, the Boss RV-5 and the Boss RV-6. A lot of people look at them and say it's probably the same thing. There's probably just more hype behind the old one or the new one. Whichever culture you're in, you might like this one or that one. But there are actually some very distinct differences between the two pedals. And so today I want to show you 4 of the biggest differences between how these pedals interact, and hopefully it'll help you discover which one is the right option for you. Alright, so the first difference between the Boss RV-6 and RV-5 is the length of pre-delay involved in the reverb sound. So you'll hear the RV-6 has some extra pre-delay in it. Creates the sense of a larger space that you're in. Here's the RV-5. Hear much shorter reflection time there. RV-6 again. And back and forth. Alright, and then the second difference that is a pretty big one is the way the tone knob interacts. So turning them both all the way up, you hear the RV-6 get sort of a normal brightness versus the RV-5 gets this really shimmery, washy sort of high end. So I want to sweep through that filter real quick, and that's really what it is. It's a high-end filter for the tone knob. You hear what a big difference that makes on the RV-5. Back to the RV-5. The third difference is sort of just in the overall tone shaping that is created by the two pedals. So here's the RV-5 and RV-6. You can hear they almost sit in very different areas tonally. So. Yeah, for me, I hear between the two pedals that the RV-6 actually has more low end throughout the sound, regardless of where the sweep is. Obviously, the RV-5 has a lot of high end to offer when you open up that filter, like extra high end that's not in your original sound. But the RV-6 continues with some of that low end where it feels like the RV-5 actually cuts some of that out. So listen for that real quick. Alright, the last difference between these two pedals is the length of time that it goes. So the RV-5 goes kind of long. 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's gone. The RV-6 kind of rings out for a very long time though. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So see, it kind of keeps ringing on. It's a much larger space, and so it can be a lot bigger reverb. And right now, both the times are all the way maxed out here. So again, versus the RV-5 is here. So playing through some chords with both of those. See, so for me, that RV-6 almost goes past what a normal reverb could do and gets into that sort of pad, ethereal sort of texture type thing, whereas the RV-5 seems like it's really more of just a long reverb. You know, and again, that's my mix all the way up. That's time all the way up. So it sort of doesn't feel like it creates that huge pad texture in the same way that the RV-6 kind of does. You see how with some swells we could easily just start playing some background pad swell type things. Whereas the RV-5 could certainly do something like that. But it just feels like a lot lower mix perhaps and less overall um, reverb length and weight that it's really offering. Alright, now I'm just going to have a playthrough with both these pedals and see if I can show some of the things that they're both good at and can do. See, that thing can get super bright on us. All right, so overall, what do I think? So I think that the RV-6 creates a great pad texture. Can be really nice if you're into the ethereal thing, want to create some layers, some massive space, that spacey, washy, artificial, ambient type reverb. If you're into something a little bit more natural and subtle, the RV-5 could be a good option for you, although I'll say at the same time, the RV-5's filter does feel sort of vintage and not as realistic. So you can also use the RV-5 if you're looking for a high-end effect. There's really nice high-end to this one that can be either really tasteful if you're using it for intentional high-end, or it can be really artificial and maybe not be beneficial to your sound. Again, this one can feel really heavy and weighty, so that can be a good thing. Or if you're playing quickly, that could really kind of muddy up your sound a little bit, make it not as nice. So you sort of just have to decide, you want that massive, really big, thick, spacey reverb, the RV-6 might be your best option. Or would you rather have something with a really bright, shimmery high end and can really react to a little bit faster playing? The RV-5 might be your better option. So honestly, between the two, there's not a bad option, and you can tweak them to fill the different spaces, but they both do have different specialties. So honestly, you could even stick both on your board if you wanted. Hope this helps.